Welcome, my friends, to the only game reviews where the score doesn't matter. Just like getting sold a complete game in 2016. So you sit back, relax, grab you some nachos, and get ready to enjoy the show. Because this is Gracious Judgment. Okay, let's just go ahead and knock this question out. I've seen a lot of people asking on the forums if they should get this game, if it will be worth it to them if they've never played a Final Fantasy before. The answer is absolutely yes. You never have to have ever played a previous installment of this series to enjoy the game and understand the story. Now, what you might miss are some Easter eggs. Things they threw in there from other installments of the games for past players to enjoy. Like characters. There are certain characters from the other games that are put into this story. Now, you wouldn't know that if you've never played it, so that's the only thing you're going to miss. But all in all, yes, you will know what's going on. But let's go ahead and get to some of the negatives of the game. I don't like talking about negative things, so I just want to get them right out of the way. But the first thing, invisible walls. They're everywhere, and they can get annoying. There are times where the game gets blurry, very blurry for no reason at all. You could just be driving in the car and the screen blurs out on you. So there are issues there that need to be corrected. And it is a bummer because there's games that are larger, because this map isn't really that large. Yeah, it looks large in the screen that you're given, but when you take the time to measure how long you've been running and then find out where you are on the map, you realize the map's really not as big as some other games when those other games actually do it without getting blurry. So then also there is some pixelation issues. When it comes to transitioning to different materials in the game, you'll just see little squares as it transitions into the different texture. But then also, I never had a blue screen, which is awesome. I don't know if I can say that for any game this year. I've always at least blue screened once. This game, I did not at all. For everyone else, I don't know. I've actually seen a lot of complaints about this game when it comes to bugs. I've seen people post pictures of just there being no water at all. Just little fish floating around. Me personally, that never happened to me. The only bug that I had in a 31-hour gameplay session is I lost 30 minutes of gameplay because the game bugged out and wouldn't let me go any further when I transitioned under a rock. I got stuck. The game didn't freeze. I could still turn my head and such, but I couldn't move my feet at all.
And you can see where I have the little arrow here, the tons of little bitty squares that you can see where it should just be a smooth transition from the road to the ground. But it's not there. And this is all throughout the game. It's not like these things I'm going to mention are just 1 or 2 time occurrences. I mean, it occurs a lot. And then there's also some anti-aliasing issues where edges should be smoothed out and look more realistic. Well, they're not. They're kind of jagged.
Final Fantasy 15 has always brought iconic music to the table, and in this installment, it's no different. It's very well done orchestra-style music, just instrumentals. It's beautiful, but the problem that this game has is that sometimes it's misplaced. With happy music being in sad times, sad music or intense music being in happy times. You could be in the most intense fight of your life, hop on a chocobo, and it sounds like you just went to Candyland. But one of the cool things that I thought they did was allow you to buy previous installments music through a merchant to play on the radio of your car. Very good idea. Fans appreciate that, I'm sure. Now, the voice acting in the game is real hit and miss. You have the secondary characters that you can tell they didn't really put the money into. But I applaud you for trying to make it accurate. Because I live in Appalachia territory, in southern Ohio, right on the border of West Virginia. And there's people that talk like that. Not all of them, but there are people that talk like that. So they did try to portray it accurately because in the game you are outside of the city in the more rural and country areas. So yeah, that is accurate. Now, there's probably some of you even out there, just anywhere from here, that think I have a southern twang. I don't care, I'm proud of that. But the caliber in which the secondary was made was not very good, let's just be honest. But where it did thrive is the main characters. You can tell they put the money into these guys. They made you feel it in the heart. Every pain, tear, hurt, just betrayal, revenge, hatred, every emotion in their voice felt spot on. Now, the characters may annoy you at times because you don't like their personality or the way they grow as they go throughout the story. You may not like that, but the voice acting itself is well done.
Wow, this place is so romantic.
Then you get to enjoy it with us.
All three of us.
You are a lucky man.
It just occurred to me, but this is totally like King's Night.
Huh?
There's 4 of us, just like in the game.
Well, then I gotta be a 5-star character.
Hell no. If anyone here's a rare, it's me.
One of the things that kept me immersed into the game was how the developers put things on the characters that just let you know, by the end of the game, these guys had to go to oblivion and come right back out of it. And you could tell on their bodies that they had to do that. It kept you immersed. It made you believe that they went through what they did. And also, the only way to level up this time, in this installment of the game, is to sleep. So, one of the cool things that I thought was also immersive was if you choose not to sleep for extended days at a time, your hair starts to not look as pretty, it gets all grimy and yucky, you get dirt all over your arms, face. Like, you could tell they were out and about and fighting and just getting dirty. It made sense and it keeps you immersed. And the AI of this game is actually very good. These stupid things are going to just surround you, come at you from all different angles. So really, response time, it's key, because you got to be able to dodge. Or, which comes to one of the complaints I had of the game, you buy all kinds of items to just kind of get you out of it. To me, there was too much gil in the game, which is the currency in Final Fantasy. I've seen some articles that said it's hard to get and it's just scarce, but that's not true at all. I just did a crap ton of hunts, quests, side quests, got all the collectibles. I had over 100,000 gil multiple times during the playthrough. I had 99 potions, 99 high potions, which are stronger. I had like 40 some mega phoenixes, which reses your whole freaking party. I had Ether, 99, which gives you all your magic power, which allows you to do your abilities. So when you can have 99 of each thing, the game becomes very, very easy, which leads me to the difficulty. It was easy because of that gil factor. Now, like I said, the AI is good, but if you didn't have so many potions, it would have been a lot harder. Now, you can gimp yourself. That is a fact. You can choose not to spend gil on all these things and try to play the game like that. That is true. You can make it difficult. But if you're going to play the game the way it's given to you, it's extremely easy. And the UI of this game is very simplistic, easy to understand. Now, when you're buying from merchants, it can be a little annoying because it lists the items that you have equipped, but it doesn't show them equipped. You just find out whenever you try to sell the item, and it just says, oh, you can't do that because it's equipped. I don't understand why it couldn't at least had an E beside it or not been there at all. And the skills that they put in this game, they're neat. Certain ones have fishing, photography, and survivaling, cooking, things like that. And they actually help you in the game. Cooking in this game is key. You can get a significant power boost from cooking. I was level 9 fighting a level 30 demon, and I beat him because of the cooking. I even had the basic weapons in the game, the first ones you start out with, and I beat him because of the food that I had. So food can be extremely overpowered. So always make sure you eat. And just a helpful hint before I show you all the skills and the abilities of the game that you're going to get, I want to tell you something that made it really easy for me. I did not sleep that often. I tried to save as much experience as possible. At one point I got up to 64,000 experience in my pool, and then I dropped 10,000 gil to go down south to the real fancy hotel that gives you double experience. So I ended up with over 124,000 that jumped me 20 levels from 18 to level 38. Unbelievable jump. My power went from here to here.
Here I just want to show you the quick perks. We got the magic tree, which just helps your magic become stronger and more potent. Recovery, which is just going to obviously help you recover faster when it comes to magic power, health, and stamina. but also neat little perks when it comes to crit rate when certain things are accomplished. And combat, which really enough said, just going to help your attacks hit harder and be stronger. And teamwork's just going to help with the link strikes so you do more damage with those and really just working with your team in general. Stats is actually going to boost your health, stamina, and mana pools. And exploration is just going to give you more AP, which is what you buy these with, for just things like fishing, riding chocobos, going in car rides, stuff like that. And then things to help in wait mode, which is just whenever you stop, the combat stop, which is optional.
Combat in Final Fantasy 15 is easy to do because really there's only two buttons that you need, the attack button and the dodge button. But it's very difficult to master because there is a lot that you can do and knowing when to do it. That's key. Just like either running because you're completely overpowered or hiding behind a rock to increase your health and magic power. So then also you got the link strikes, which is you teaming up with your teammate once you get behind an opponent and you do a little combination with each other to do increased damage. You got warp strikes that you can use to either jump off of a wall to strike them directly without the wall, or just get the crap out of there, man, because you're in trouble. Then also you have techniques, which are very, very powerful. And you can either make them do increased damage or support techniques. And with the damage techniques, you can actually do quick time events, which give you a chance to just do increased damage to the enemy. And some of the hairy situations that I got into, there was one fight and it was better than any boss fight in the game. It was just something completely random that happened. This battle took all night in game time. I started at sunset and it didn't stop till well after sunrise. But I was going just on a random side quest, just a fetch quest to go get something. And 3 huge arachnids pop up. Then a demon, because it's nighttime, decides he wants to join the fun and brings all his friends. And then the freaking Imperial Army decides they're going to drop on my noggin too. And it was just a 4-way fight, man. It was crazy. They were all battling. Lightning shooting everywhere. It was crazy.
Let the gem hunt begin!
And then we can't forget the resistances with combat. Each monster is more resistant to a different weapon type and weaker to a different weapon type. So you need to figure out as you're doing that fight which one they are weak to so you can exploit it and do increased damage. But when it comes to the weapons, I'm iffy on if I thought it was a lot or not. So I'm probably going to sit in between and just say it was average. Because at first I was a little underwhelmed, but then I started finding all of the ancestral weapons that you get from your family, and those are really freaking cool. But then it's like there's only 6 or 7 of each weapon type. So one-handed, two-handed, lance, shield, gun, dual wield. You know, I only found 6 or 7 variations of those. So I just expected a lot more, I guess. But, you know, the gameplay itself is actually fun. Especially when it comes to spellcrafting. Yeah, there's spellcrafting in this game. You collect elementals from throughout the world and then just form them in this little flask and throw it, and it's just a miniaturized nuclear bomb. I mean, you can make some crazy freaking powerful spells in this game, and it's very, very fun, especially with the effects that come out of them. But other things that you can do in the game besides going around and finding all the elemental things to absorb, you can do the main quest and then the side quest. Then you can do hunts, which hunts is how you're going to get all your money. They offer tremendous amounts of money, especially in the higher levels. You're going to get 2,000 to 8,000 gil each time, even more once you go higher up in the levels. But also back to the side quest, just to let you know, there was only 4 of them that I didn't do, and it's all fetch quests. That's it. Just send you out, go get something, come back. That's the quest right there. Now, they do a good job at sending you to places that are immersive and very, very cool, especially some of the dungeons, which I think is some of the best atmospheric gameplay in the whole game. But then also something that kind of drug me down though while doing the main story and some of the side quests, just getting myself around the map, is it just took a long time. Like when you've never been there before, you have to sit through that car ride. You don't have a choice. I tried to skip it. And some of these car rides can take anywhere from 2 to 7 minutes. I mean, that's 2 to 7 minutes that you're sitting in there with a controller in your hand feeling like a dummy. Like, why am I sitting through this, man? Now, if you're looking into Final Fantasy games, there's a good chance you're in it for the story. Now, if you're not in it for the story, this game may not be for you. Because even with the open world aspects that it has, you're only open world for the first half of the game, and after that, it's a beeline straight to the finish. And then also, the combat, I thought it was fun, but it's also frustrating at the same time. So if that's just what you're wanting out of it, nah. I don't think it's there. But the story of the game is beautiful. Now, there are holes, but not in the story, just the characters themselves. And only 2 that I found. And don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'm not going to let anything out. So, no need to skip ahead or close your ears. But I just want to let you know there are 2 characters that I had some issues with. And one of them, I'm not saying his name, but the dude decides to leave, come back within 1 mission, like he's going on this big journey, and he comes back all scarred up like the dude got the crap beat out of him and he'd been away for a while. He comes back stronger, and you're like, holy crap, man, what happened to this guy? You know, it's like I'm interested to hear what he did and what he has to say. No, you never find out. Like, there's so much you could have did with character development in that segment. It just went nowhere. It was left at that. He just comes back looking like a boss, went through 3 civil wars. But then you have another character that you think is going to play a major part, and apparently he's just one of the baddest dudes of the entire army that your dad controlled in your kingdom, and he just disappears. You think he's going to help you. You meet him, you talk to him, he acts like he's going to, you know, just kind of help you along your way and look out, and he's going to play a part in the game, and he doesn't at all. He just goes off and becomes a hunter, and you hear that. I mean, if you can even miss that. That's just random banter amongst the people as you're going through the game world. You hear that he went off to be a hunter. If you didn't hear that, you're probably left there wondering what the crap happened to this guy. But I did like how through the course of the story, the characters, the main characters, their personalities adapted and changed. Like what's going on changed them throughout the game. And it was just really cool to see that, and the emotion, like I said again, the voice actors that they put into this made you believe the story. I mean, this is a story, the main story itself is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and well written. I applaud the person that wrote this story. I mean, it's full of the old things: love, marriage, hate, revenge, war, deception. It's all the same concepts, but it's done in such a new and refreshing way that I didn't give a crap. And, you know, as it's going through, like I said, the emotion in their voice, they just make you believe everything that's done, and you look back and at the end of the game and you see the journey that they went through. I mean, honestly, there's only 1 or 2 games that I have played in my entire life. I'm almost 28 years old, and I've been playing games since I was like 5 or 6. And there's only 2 games, maybe 3, that's put such an emotion in my heart that at the end I'm just sitting there thinking, wow. You know, wow, what I just seen. And this game did it. So there's 1 more onto my list. Now, like I said, if you're doing it just for the combat, world exploration, I wouldn't do it. But if you're into it for the story, it's very well done. So if there's any other questions, maybe even if you want to know more about the story, but something that's a little more of a spoiler, feel free to either leave it in the comments. Well, don't leave a spoiler in the comments, but if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, something that's not a spoiler. And then if you want to know something that might be a spoiler, feel free to directly message me, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. And If you'd like to know next time I upload a video, feel free to hit that subscribe button. That way you get a notification in your email. And hey, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. But until next time, you take care, you have a good week, and always remember, game with grace.